Welcome new video series. This tutorial series we discuss about unit testing ASP.NET Core 6 with xUnit. Topic we learn from there: set up xUnit in our project, understand the basic testing architecture, writing some test code using mock for mocking, and after then we move forward and start our testing in test driven development. So, and the every testing has three part, that is arrange, act and assert. So 3A pattern: first we need to arrange something, then we act something, then we write our testing using the assert. And then we need to understand when using the hands-on practice. The first part of the series I am trying to show you how can you write test code, several assert, and how to implement it. Okay, so now move on and start our journey. So in our already developed project, if you not know about the project in .NET 6, then you can get information my other video series, that is ASP.NET Core. Okay, so first of all, if I check my status, in now I am the main branch, so I creating another branch for testing work. Go git checkout -b test code branch, test code branch. Now I'm moving to test code branch. Okay, so first of all we need to set up our project, and we create everything inside our test, because we are making test project inside the test folder. Okay, so and most of the time in your application, you see you have API, you have BLL and DLL. Most important part is for testing is we already test our business logic layer. Okay, so if business logic layer is working perfectly, then we ensure our business rules is structural properly or play role properly. Okay, so in first of all, in our test, we need to create a new project and must ensure it must be the inside the test folder. Okay, so we need to unit testing project, and a naming convention is university app .bll .testing. So we use a xUnit. Some user use NUnit, but I am flexible with using the xUnit. So I need to create the project. Now project is generated, and also generated a new file, unit test1.cs. First we need to delete the file. Okay, so for your understanding, I created a demo folder or test folder at directory, suppose for demo, and inside there I created a new class, need to person, and person has string first name, string last name, very simple. I create a property for his age, and and create another property for decimal, that is if I change to person to employee, that is rename, refactor, rename employee. Next, okay, so employee and decimal, and create some salary. Okay, so I create a method for testing, public string get full name, return first name plus first of all I need some wrong code, so first name then last name. Okay, and get another property, suppose boolean type is young employee, and return age 18 20 less than 20. Then we create a method, it's younger employee. Okay, so I create a very simple class uh, for your understanding how to we create assert and how to manage everything. Okay, so if I go to our test code and create a new class, that is employee testing, suppose, for understanding. And yeah, sorry, I forget a spelling mistake, I rename it employee testing. Okay, so rename it. First of all I create a method public void for learning test. Okay, so when you are create any test method, you must need to create a fact, and when you add the fact and you see the xUnit is included your project. Okay, so I told you in testing has three part: arrange, act, assert. So I create arrange and act, assert. Okay, so what is arrange? Arrange part is you create the object, that is employee equal new employee. Okay, so need to inject dependency. Okay, so that is arrange. Any type of, if you add employee dot age, employee dot first name equal to Taposh, employee dot last name, that is Ghosh. Okay, so I create the employee some information. Now I start our testing. Okay, this is called arrange. First of all we arrange our data, which one we need to test. Next part is act. Act is when you are calling any method, that is called the act method. So I var full name equal employee dot get full name. Okay, so now this is a act, and now we create our assert. Assert is a class which is provided by xUnit. So I write assert dot equal. So first part is expected, what you expect. My expectation is the information print as like Taposh, then space, then Ghosh. Okay, so second part is actual. Actual means what you get from the code. Okay, so I write the full name is actual, and expected is I need to expect Taposh Ghosh. Okay, so now, and you see when you add the fact attribute, then the run button is coming there. And if you see our csproc file, you see xUnit, when a testing project added, then some type of reference is added, that is Microsoft.NET Test SDK, then using xUnit, then added another library for Visual Studio. This library work is create some test icon and show the information in terminal. Okay, so we first run our test, run button press, then you see, yeah, our test is failed. So here we see, so first we need to fail our code, then refactoring our code, and next again run our code. Okay, fail, refactor, run, then refactor, then run again, then the success scenario come. So now I expect it is Taposh Ghost, Taposh space Ghost, but the system actually providing the Taposh without a space Ghost. Okay, so we need to update our code. If I come to our employee and add a space and save the file, now run the test again. You see now the test is successfully passed. Okay, so this way you write the assert equal method. You can the main factor is, first part is need is what you expected, and second part is what actual information the system is provide us. Okay, so we can write many assert within a single method. Okay, so if I naming the method is uh, full name test. Okay, so I created a method for full name test. Second, I create another method for public void test null employee null information test. Okay, so next I need to again add the fact. Okay, so first I arrange the employee, then without doing any act, when you create any object, then the object property, every property is null. So we checked assert dot null employee dot first name, then we check is null employee dot last name, then we check assert dot true employee dot is younger employee. Okay, so I write three test method for checking null, first name is null, second name also null, and the younger employee. So I can run only this method, or you can run all this method using the, if you run this class file. Okay, so first of all we need to test this. Yeah, you see our all test is passed. Why all test passed? Because when the object is created, then there is an empty constructor is called, and the empty constructor main job is it initialize the default value. So string default value is null, then the age is integer, that default value is 0, and we write a code if age is less than equal 20, then the method is return the true method. Okay, true. So if I assert again, now I add some information, employee dot first name equal Taposh. Then if you run this method null employee dot first name, you see that now the test is failed. If you write multiple assert, if any assert is failed, then the test is failed. Okay, so if I run this, you see the test is failed because we expected null, but the actual output is Taposh. Okay, so and one important thing I ensure you, if I write this line at the beginning, if the first test is failed, it not run another test. Okay, if I run this, you see the first fail case only showing, others test information not is showing there, but I am writing multiple test case. The unit testing is pattern is if the first assertion is failed, it not test other part. The first part is failed, then it ensure you the test is failed. When we call the test is passed, when all that assert is passed, then we said this method is working perfectly. Okay, so I think now you understand it. So this is for how to use null. And now if you write assert dot not null, not null employee dot first name, now the test is passed because the employee is not employee first name is not null. You see the test is passed successfully. Okay, so we learn several test method here, that is how to use null, how to use not null, how to use true and false. If you use true, you can also use false value. Okay, so now we are moving for testing some string property. Okay, so I create another test, public void uh, employee full name testing, PLYW full mpm full name testing. Okay, never is. Okay, so first of all we need to write fact. Okay, so first we need to create object. We need object, and that is called arrange. Then act, then act is nothing, assert. Okay, assert. So we set up information employee dot first name Taposh, employee dot last name Ghosh, and employee dot age equal to 34, employee dot now only we working for string, so that cause I am not need to set this var employee or result output is what output equal to employee dot get full name. Okay, so in assert you write several method, that is assert dot start with, and if you see start with, first is expected string, start with I write start with gh. Okay, and the output. Okay, output. Okay, so if I run this test, you see test is failed because my name start with TA but we expected gh. Okay, so if I write start with TA and run again, now see test is passed successfully. And also, and I write something comment line some this area for string testing rules. Okay, so you can understanding here we only test string related information. So if you use as start with, you can use end with. So end with is a similar, first need to expected string. So what is my expected end with? That is sh. Okay, so I write sh and in output, if I run the test again, test is passed successfully cause my name end with sh. Okay, so again another test method we can use assert dot okay, and now if I check third parameter is present or not, comparison tab, yeah. And another important is the pattern is if I write contains, okay, and write contains means any character is matches, but I write os, my name os also, and inside the os present in my first name and last name also, but I write the capitalize. So if I run the test, we want to see what is happened. So if I run this, you see test is failed because testing in string is case sensitive. Okay, so if you want to remove the case sensitive feature, so you can write no case. If I check this, ordinal ignore case, if I write that I want to ignore the case. Okay, so if I run this again, you see test is passed successfully. So this is very helpful for string comparison, because if you sometimes user input their name in capitalized letter, so you can test it in ignore case. Okay, so we can write also the assert string comparison is this way. Okay, so another method is assert dot strict equal. Strict equal means that is strictly maintain the rules, and it only have two value, expected and actual. Okay, so strict equal, if I write my first name, check only Taposh, and employee dot first name, do not use. Okay, strict equal, if I run this, I think some issue has arise. No, okay, so you can use a string strict. If I write TP is capitalized, then run to check what happened. Now the test is failed. Okay, so the if you check the strictly maintain the case sensitive information, then you can use strict equal. Okay, so this method is only used for the string comparison. Okay, so here I forget, you can also equal assert dot equal. Okay, so now I check Taposh space Ghosh, and the output. Okay, okay, so this test is failed, that cause. Okay, if I run again, all the test is passed successfully. Okay, so we learn how to test string type data using the xUnit. These methods are very helpful for using any string testing, but the output is not good keyword. So if I sorry, I change some output to full name. Okay, so very helpful. So full name. Again I test this or code. Okay, everything is passed successfully. So this for string testing. You can also debug. If you want to debug, then you need to run the debug mode. Okay, so here now we testing integer type data. Okay, so how can you test integer type data? uh, so I create also another test method, fact public void employee age testing. PLO employee age testing. Okay, so again I create the, I always maintain the convention, arrange act assert. Okay, so I create again the object. Okay, so employee dot age, suppose I added 45. Okay, so I act nothing but only string test here. So I assert dot equal expected is 45 and employee dot age equal to 45. If I run this test, yeah, test is passed. If I write the, or if you use equal, you can also use not equal, not equal, not equal 32 employee dot age. This test also passed. The value is not equal 32. You can also write conditional in assert dot equal employee dot age greater than 20 and employee dot age less than 50 equal or true. You can use true. If only true, the age is greater than 20 and age is less than 55. So I think the condition is true. Yeah, condition is passed. If I change the age is suppose 66, now see what happened. The test is failed. Okay, because we maintain, we tell the only the assert is true when the age is greater than 20 and less than 50, but our age is 66. That call our testing is not passed. If I write fail and then false, I think the testing is passed properly. What is expected equal, yeah, this condition is failed. That is, if I write 66, you see the why the beauty of unit testing. If you change anything but you forget to refactor the next time, then if you run the test, you see that your test is broken. So it's the beauty of unit testing. Now every test is passed successfully. Okay, so you can also in and I write this code, it is for integer testing. This is for integer testing rules. Okay, integer long, you can use this scenario for testing. Okay, So you can also use another method is range method. Okay, so range in range. Okay, so what is first is actual value. Actual is our employee dot age, then is lower, then higher. Okay, so I write lower is 60 and higher is suppose 70. So our code is all obviously maintain this condition, that cause our test is passed. So if I run this, you see our test is passed successfully. Okay, so you can use in range condition, equal not equal, and this for our, you can use this mechanism for testing integer type data. Okay, so next I am working in double data, their decimal data, fact public void employee salary testing. Okay, so if I write fact is for single value testing. Okay, so again we write arrange, then write act, then assert. Okay, so if you when you are writing test, if you maintain the structure, that very helpful. uh, some developer which is junior in your team, that can help them to understand what is does and what of work is doing their this code, then it he or she can easily understand the code properly. Okay, so if I write again the code, and one important part I want to show you, the precision part. If I this was public decimal get, suppose get half earning. We know when in COVID situation, most of the employee in everywhere getting the half salary. Okay, get half earning, so I return salary divided by 2. Okay, so this condition, then now you see our value is precision data var now salary. If I set some data, employee dot salary equal 3433, that type of data, and now salary equal employee dot get half salary, get half earning, now earning. Okay, so if I want to assert, first we need to debug the, if you not any assert, that what happened, it also need to check, and we are running this code as debug mode. Debug, you see code is coming debug mode, and we get earning some value 178. If I change this value, I need much precision data, so that cause I add 66 again, and if I run this, okay, so the test is passed. If your code you are not any assertion, then test always output the success scenario. Okay, so I need to get the value again, debug, okay, so 2 is very simple. I want to change something, suppose this type of value. Okay, so why I do this, I want to show you how can you manage the precision value. Okay, so I debug again. Okay, so call earning. Now you see the earning is a huge amount of value. How can you match this data? Okay, so I copy this copy value and store in the VS Code. I paste this. Okay, so now I stop the testing, and now I need to test equal method. Okay, so assert dot equal the actual value, how much data you need to check. Suppose I copy three this and earning. Okay, cannot convert double to decimal. Okay, so we need to change the value. Double, it's our double and also double. Okay, so if I run this code, so now you see I expected this value, but actually is huge precision value. Okay, how can we test this? So if you want to testing any type of decimal type data, then in the third parameter you ensure the precision, how much character after the decimal point you want to check. In the precision you see the another parameters precision, I want to check the three character for after the decimal. I write 3. If I run this test, you see the value is now rounded. I want to check some or any parameter. If I check false, now what happened? I want to check. Okay, so this is for string value. Okay, so for our understanding, if I change the 4, if I run the test, you see the test is passed successfully. Okay, so that way you can use the precision testing. Okay, so now we understand some basic testing, how to string integer or how to test in decimal type data for decimal value testing rules. Okay, so now I want to show you how to test uh, exception handling. Okay, so in our employee class, if I write some code here, if age greater than equal 0, if age is greater than 0, greater than 0, less than 0, then you need to throw new exception. Okay, so throw new exception. Okay, when write the message age cannot less than 0. Okay, so I create exception, then I test everything. Okay, so now in our first of all, if you want to change something, so first I run to all test to see it this type of mechanism created any problem in our code or not. You see not any issue arise in our code after changing something in code. Okay, so we ensure our all the method is working perfectly. Okay, so now in our code here I create another method, public void public void employee age exception testing, and need to act fact. So now the same rules, arrange, act, assert. So I need to arrange that line, I copy it. Okay, so now I set employee dot age equal to minus 30. Okay, so and which method I write this code is younger employee. Okay, so assert dot throw exception. Okay, so now it this way test code employee dot is younger employee. Okay, so if I test this code, you see test is passed cause thus this test method return the exception. Okay, so and if I get data is younger and if I run this, what happened? If we write this code this way, then we need to check what problem is present there. If I run the debug mode, code is coming debug, throw, and you see code is come to the another area. So when you think you are getting any type of exception, then you need to test this way. Okay, so bool, so we test this. Okay, exception, if we want to test exception with message, so assert dot equal, the message is age not less than 0 expected, then I write employee dot get is younger employee. So I forget how to manage how to test exception message. If I Google it, xUnit test exception message. Okay, this way. Okay, so if you think your code is getting some exception, then you need to write this code this way. So exception and write to your code is employee dot is younger employee. Okay, so then you test your message with exception throw, and without this way you can write exception and you can also test with message, that is exception dot message. Okay, if I run this code again, no exception was thrown. Okay, so exception employee is younger employee, text code. If I stop this line and run this code again, if the code is passed. Okay, so if you need to check the type of exception, then you need to write exception dot get type. If I run again, type of system exception, no exception was thrown. So if I test exception message is type. Okay, you can also check the type of exception. Okay, so this is also very helpful. Without using these, we can also test assert is type of exception and write the is type has two parameter. First till expected is exception and exception. Okay, so if I run this code, okay, everything is fine. And if you want to get this format of exception testing through, then you need to get this method again called test code. Okay, so you can test this code. Okay, every test is passed successfully. Okay, so now I think you understand properly how can write the test code in your coding, is how you to use fact. And now I am showing you another important concept. We learned how to use fact. Now I want to show you the theory. Okay, so why we use theory? So I copy a website for its understanding. Okay, so I need to create another class for demo, suppose calculator class. Calculator class. Inside the class I create a method, it's for understanding. Okay, I create a add method that provide the value 1 and return the value 1, value 2. Okay, if I want to check this information using a different type of value, okay, so that means in our test code, so I write another testing, employee testing, and add a class and write this, suppose calculator testing, and also public void test calculator. Okay, using theory, and I copy this, and now in comment I want to show you something understandable. Okay, so I comment all the line. Okay, so if you want to test what type of test, when you already we learned system how to you test this way. If you run calculator and use var result equal calculator dot add and you provide suppose 3 comma 4, assert dot equal you test 7 comma 7. Okay, so if you run this and if you need to fact, and you see the test is passed. Okay, so if you want to multiple value testing, then you need to how much information you provided. You provide two parameter value and you need a value for your expected result. So if you want to test multiple data value, so if you want to use theory, so use test calculator theory using theory property. So the way is you need to integer value 1, integer value 2, and integer expected. Okay, so 3 parameter means you can using theory providing the 3 parameter. If first parameter is 3 and second parameter is 5, then the output is 8. Okay, so you can add multiple, and if I write 30 and write 20, the output is 50. And now I write some wrong information, 7, and I write 3 minus 5 equal to 25. Okay, so I create 2 information correct and 2 information is wrong. Okay, so now I write var, if I copy this calculator and instead of this I write value 1, value 2, and expected is expected and result is actually is result. Okay, so sorry I forget some. First part is theory and other bit is inline data. Okay, so now perfect. If I run this test, you see our test is failed. One or more child case failed. Okay, these only test is passed when all the test scenario. Okay, so first it tests this way, second it tests this way, second third it tests this way. Okay, but this way it test fail. Okay, so 3 5 2 1 equal to 3 and 3. If I write 3 3 equals 6, then the test is passed. Okay, so if you need to test multiple conditional test, then you need to use theory. Okay, so if I run all, you see the test is now passed successfully. Okay, that way we can write our test code. I think now you understand properly how to use xUnit and what type of feature we use to implement it. So happy coding, and next video I am using the mock and how to use mocking in your application. And after we make our hands dirty on mocking and understand properly mocking, then we move forward to test driven development, that is the TDD. Okay, bye bye.